Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I am Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you from all around the United States and all around the world. Today, we're going to have some fun with a stamp set bundle that I had used a few weeks ago. It's called the Starflower Bundle, and it was designed to be a holiday set. It's a very graphic type of poinsettia. And we had run a special sale on it for, well, the stamp set is normally $20 and the die set, I'm not exactly sure, but probably around 15, I want to say, something like that, close to that. But anyway, we ran a special for the stamp and die to be sold together as a bundle for only $15. And lots of you got in on that deal. And I had made a Christmas card that night showing how to use it as a Christmas card. Like a Christmas flower, a poinsettia, but you can also use this as a spring flower, as a bright daisy, as a beautiful summer flower. Today, I'm going to use it as an autumn flower, and I'm going to alter it just a little bit, and I think we're going to have fun with it. I did want you to know that we put it back into the deal of the week so you can get it for $15, because I know some of you missed it, so we wanted to make sure that you would be able to do it for at least, the next couple of days if you decide that you like the card and you went back and watched some of the other videos and thought, yeah, that's a good one for me. All right, so welcome everyone. I see everybody coming in. Before we get started today, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Howdy.
How are you?
Better than horrible.
You're a cowboy today.
Yeah.
No. All right. I'll be reading my book tonight, I guess.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while since you wore the cowboy hat or since I read the book, or both.
A little bit of both.
Little bit. That was a beautiful hat that you're wearing, though. You got that as a gift, right?
Yes, I did, along with a few of the other gifts back here that are greatly appreciated.
That's so nice. Everybody's sending you cowboy hats. That's really sweet. Well, welcome everybody. It's great. Tom definitely has a word of the day, right?
I do.
That's coming later?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, he was coming into my office every 5 minutes with new words of the day. So I definitely think he has to pick from quite a few funny ones.
Yes, we've got a few.
Well, I'm glad to have you here behind the controls, Tom. Back in the dead space.
Back in the dead space.
My goodness. Well, today I thought, okay, so one of my favorite flowers, and I'm starting to see them come up all around Wisconsin, are coneflowers. Sometimes they're called black-eyed Susans, I think. The ones that are, they have like a black center, and then they've got these beautiful yellow flowers. And then there's also the coneflowers that are purple in the fall, and they kind of have a dark brown center. They all have that same kind of shape, and they're absolutely gorgeous. It always reminds me of fall when I see them. And I thought today I was going to turn this stamp into a coneflower. But when I see coneflowers, I usually see them more the side view. So I wanted to alter this a little bit, and why don't we do it together, okay? All right, so let me show you the stamp set in the overhead, and let me try to find a piece of white cardstock so you can see this a little bit better. I've got some of my artist choice over here. Let me grab one of those. I actually ran out of white cardstock and black cardstock. I had to go steal some from the warehouse. They just had a couple little sheets left, and I grabbed them. All right, so this is the Starflower stamp set. And you get this beautiful big starflower. And then this is a layer that goes inside. And this is a decorative layer. So if you're using this for the holidays, you might want to stamp this in a light red, and then this in a deeper red, and then these in maybe Versamark or some sort of embossing and watermark ink. Yes, echinacea. That's exactly right. Black-eyed Susans and echinacea. I don't know if they're the same. I don't know if one is more, the common name and one is the botanical name, but gorgeous flowers. And this little design, just put some little dots on here, and you could do it in gold or silver for holiday cards. You could make these in red or in blues, and they look like beautiful graphic poinsettias. But for spring and summer, you could do these in fun, pinks and bright purples and yellows and things like that, so that you could make them bright daisies and just kind of a graphic summer flower. But for the fall, I thought we could alter it just with a pair of scissors. So we'll die cut it and then we'll just trim a little off and we'll turn it into that typical echinacea, black-eyed Susan kind of flower that we all love. Now there's a couple different color combinations we could do. We could do purples, we could do yellows. And I think I'll show you both color combinations and then we'll just pick one and we'll make a flower out of it. All right, so to begin, I want to show you, I found a little hack here that I think will make it easier for you guys to line up this flower. So normally I stamp the big flower first. I'm just going to cut this piece of white cardstock. Sorry, there's so much white on the screen right now, but we'll take care of that in just a minute. I'm going to cut a quarter sheet here real quick. And so normally I stamp the big flower, this big one, and then I try to line this one up on top, and then I try to line this one up. What I have found is stamping the small one first makes it so much easier to line up. So let's do that. You just have to make sure you pull it far enough away from the MISTI so that when you go to put the big one on there, it's not overlapping the side of your MISTI, right? So you want to make sure that you pull it down a little bit on your cardstock. Okay, so we're going to use the MISTI for this, and I'm going to back out a little bit because I think I had it close because we were adjusting something on the camera. All right, so let's see. Yeah, you can use sketched flowers for this. That would be great. That would be another great set to use. I love that set. So this is the big flower. This is the detail. And then also we have some leaves in here, and we've got some details. I'll just use the 2 layers instead of all 3. You can also use this center one if you're directly stamping these, but I'm going to actually do something a little bit different to make it look a little more rugged. And for those of you that are on Facebook, Facebook was a problem last Tuesday night. So if you have any trouble, we're just going to say it now, jump over to YouTube because YouTube seems to be on the ball. Okie dokie. So let's go ahead and do this. So I'm just going to stamp this flower. Now I want to show you a little trick that you can do if you don't have the right color. So I was thinking of using these 2 colors, and this is Lovely Lavender and this is Plum Punch. But there is a drastic difference between those. This is very light. This is very dark. And if you want to go somewhere in between, we haven't come out with a color combo yet in these kind of plum colors, which we will eventually, but we haven't come up with that yet. So I'm going to show you a little trick to make it work. So I'm going to just grab a little scrap piece here. I'm just trimming this down, a little white piece, and we're going to keep that off to the side. So we're going to start with the Plum Punch. All right. Is that what that's called? Yes, Plum Punch. Oh my goodness. So we can either use the ink cube, or let me grab my pad just to make it easier for me. I'm going to use the big pad, but the ink cube works fine. I played around with it a little bit yesterday, and the ink cube works fine. That's why it's sitting out. So I'm going to start by inking up this Plum Punch on here. Now I want to show you the color. Okay, that's very dark. Now it does lighten up a bit, and it's very beautiful when it lightens up. But what I want to do is I want to go in between. I don't want it quite so dark. I certainly don't want it this light because I want it to show up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to ink this up again. And then I'm going to place a piece of cardstock there. I'm going to stamp it. And then I'm going to pull that off, and then I'm going to stamp it again and use my Chucky tool, or you can use your, your sleeve or something. And that gives me, ooh, that has a little piece of lint on it. So let me clean that and we'll do it again. But you get the idea. It's a darker color. I mean, it's a lighter color than this. Very pretty. Let's flip this over and we'll try it again so that we don't have that issue with the lint. Okay, so I'm going to stamp it first like this, and then I'm going to stamp it again and get a deeper color. Okay, So now it's got a little texture in it because I stamped it off once, so it's a little more spotty, but that's okay because I want this to be very kind of beautiful and you know, not as crisp. Now, this makes it very easy to line this up. Can you see how easy I just lined that up? You could totally see down into that. Rather than trying to stamp this one first, I mean, you can adjust it a little bit if it doesn't look perfect, but really that was so easy to do. All right, so I'm going to put that back, and now I'm going to use the lovely Lavender. I can't even remember my ink pad names right now. I'm having one of those days. And this one, because it's such a light color, I like to stamp it about 2 or 3 times to really get the color on there. So I'm going to do that again. I love the rustic look of that center in there. It's really pretty. One more time just to really enhance the color. Sometimes the lighter color ink pads seem like they're dry. They're not. They're just very, very light. And so they do need to be stamped a couple of times for the good solid image. All right, so isn't that pretty? It's so easy to stamp. And you can see how much nicer that looks than this dark color as far as blending with the light one. So that just gives you kind of that third color that you don't have in your collection. Now, of course, if you have those colors in your collection by another company or whatever, feel free to use them. But I just wanted to show you that little trick. Now, since I messed up the back of this, and I think it's going to show through a little bit, I'm going to stamp these a couple more times. I'm going to stamp, I think, 3 of them. So let's use a piece of cardstock that's about this size, and I want to see where these are going to end up. So we'll start with the centers. So should we do the purple or should we do the yellow? Do you want to see the yellow? Let's look at the yellow because you guys might like the yellow better. I'll do a yellow here. So I'm gonna start with yellow. I'm gonna use honey mustard for the center. I know the fall colors are so amazing. I'll do one in honey mustard and I'll do one in prickly pear so that you can see the difference in those colors too. So this is the honey mustard. Okay, let's flip it around and we'll stamp one in prickly pear. I gotta find my prickly pear ink pad, ink cube. Here it is. And we can look and see how these look with sweet corn. Prickly pear is a pretty color. I think it's a pretty color for Christmas too, actually, because it has a hint of gold in it. It's very vibrant. Isn't that pretty? I missed a corner there. We'll stamp it again. One more time. Okay. All right, so that's the prickly pear. This is the honey mustard. It may not look super different to you, but they really are different colors. You can really see it when you, whoop, I have to fix that one. If that ever happens, just use a little Connect glue in there and put it in there overnight. Okay, so that's the prickly pear. Here is the honey mustard. Can you see it's more brown, the honey mustard? Not that it's brown, but it's more golden. So, okay. So now I'm going to put this flower on top and we'll see it with the sweet corn and decide what to do. Okay. Let's put that there. Take the other one off. I did just do a card in all yellows, so maybe we should play with the purples today. But it's good to at least see the color combinations because, you know, when you guys are crafting, you might want to make a couple of each. All right, so here's my first layer of sweet corn. This is with prickly pear. Okay, so that's sweet corn and prickly pear. Now we'll look at sweet corn and honey mustard. It's an easy way to kind of do 2 at a time. Just kind of flip your paper Although I think my cardstock wasn't in the right spot. But again, these are just samples before we actually make the ones that we're going to make. Okay. So which color this looks more like a sunflower to me. Like, don't you think? Yeah, I think so too. It gets a little green in here. Yeah, it does kind of look like a sunflower. I would think you could probably, if you bought that bundle that we used the other day, you could probably lay that little fluffy one on top. Let me see if I have that close by. I do. Do I? Yes, I do. So this was the Daisy's Forever layering stencil bundle. I feel like if we laid this on top, we could turn this into a sunflower really quickly. That would be very big, but that might look really cool. Let's do it. Let's just lay this on top and get a brown. I'm not even going to ink up my brush. I know I have brown on here. Let's just see what it looks like. I'm going to have to ink up the brush. That's not enough brown. All right, everybody hold tight. I have to see it. We all have to see it. Let's use some dark chocolate. Okay, we'll line that up again. Ah, that's cool, isn't it? I like that. So I know a lot of you grabbed that layering stencil bundle, and I told you we ordered more than was on the waiting list. So if you didn't put your name on the waiting list and you just thought you weren't going to be able to get it, we still have some left. Not a ton, but some. And that looks really fun. I love that. So that's the Daisy's Forever layering stencil bundle. I had to pull it out. Okay. So that's what those look like. This is the honey mustard. This is the prickly pear. And then this is the purple. Now we could go a little darker on that purple. We could use this if we really want it to pop. Should we? You think we should? We could try. Let's do one quick sample and then we can decide together whether we like it lighter or darker. I get the feeling you guys are going to like it darker. I'll just use the other side of this. Okay, so we'll stamp this in full-blown Plum Punch. It's so fun to see all the colors. Okay. All right. Full-blown Plum Punch. I like it. I actually love this color. It lightens up. You can see here it lightened up a little bit. Can they see the difference in that, Tom?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and it lightens up when it dries. All of our colors do. They lighten up to the color that they're supposed to be, which is what's on the lid. And then I'm going to put this, let's see here. Line this up. And then we'll do this other purple. The lovely lavender. This might be very fun. But I did want to show you that, you know, you can lighten up your colors by just stamping off once. Oh, this is really pretty. You got 6 emails letting you know. I wonder if you actually signed up for the email list like 6 times, or you clicked it 6 times and somehow it thought you were 6 different people. I don't know. I'm sorry about that. But hey, I'd rather get 6 than none, right? And miss out on what you wanted. Okay, so what do you guys think of that? Should we do this one? Do you guys like that? Yeah, it looks like a lot of people are liking this one. Because we can keep this one and we can go on from there. Okay. Yeah, I'll just cut it out. That's not too bad. That yellow won't show through too bad. Okay, so we'll make a couple more of these. I'm getting a lot of yeses. So I think we're going to go full color. Yeah, I agree. It's more exciting than that, right? Yeah. Okay. You guys are right. You're always right. All right, let's make 2 more. We'll do one here. I don't know if I'm going to use them all, but again, you know, once you start like getting your cardstock going here, you might as well make more, and then you can put them away for later if you don't want to use them right away. Yes, the reds definitely make it look like a poinsettia. And even the blues are really pretty for the holidays. They're very wintry looking. I'm just going to turn it that way and do a second one. You can even see already how much that has lightened up. And again, we mixed that other color on top, so it just gave it a softer appearance. I really like that. Okay. And it looks more like the lid. This looks darker than the lid. This almost looks like our edible eggplant when you first stamp it, but edible eggplant almost looks black when you first stamp it. So they're actually nice colors to use together, the edible eggplant and this Plum Punch. The cardstock and the Misty, I just grabbed a piece of scrap cardstock, so it doesn't matter what size this is because we're not really, we're cutting all these out with the die cutting machine. So whatever size you use is totally fine. All right, I'm going to go back to this because I started here with this one. And I'm going to line this up on top. Ooh, that looks good. I nailed that. That happens like once in a blue moon when you just put it down the first time. You got multiple emails also, Mary? Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with our email system, but again, I'm glad you got the emails, so that's a good thing. I feel bad for anybody who didn't get the email and really wanted it, but we still have a bunch, not a bunch, but we've got some left. Okay, I'm doing 3 layers of this just to really get that color soft. They really do, Debbie. They line up so easily. And I think it's, you know, last time I showed it, I didn't use this method. I used the method of doing the big flower first. Let's make sure that lines up. It does. I did the big flower first, and then I tried to line the small one up. And it was still pretty easy to line up, but this is a lot easier because you can just see right through. Yeah. And again, when you're using these light colors, just use your Misty and give it a couple coats. Just because they are a very, very soft, translucent color. And I just think a couple coats of it really make it look great. Okay. So now we've got our 3 flowers. These will dry up. You can already see this one is making its way up to this color. This one's still a little dark, but they look really pretty together. And that's Lovely Lavender and Plum Punch. This was originally in a kit, not a bundle, this star flower. It was part of a kit. Okay, so let's do a couple leaves. I don't think this yellow stuff is going to show through too bad. Let's do a couple of leaves down here. So, you know, I took those off. And so should we do the dark one first again? Let's do the dark one first. And again, you know, in staying with the fall theme, I'm definitely going to go with fresh asparagus and jelly bean green. I think that they work really nicely together. They have a lot more olive, like more yellow in them than, say, our spruces, which have a little more blue in them. So let's start with the darkest color. Okay, let's see. Is this going to work over here? No, I'm going to have to move it. It's all right. I'll move it. I'm fine with that. Definitely want to have a couple leaves done. I think the worst part of this card is going to be all the die cutting. But that's like not a problem, right? It's what we do. It's part of the fun. Complaining about die cutting. What's wrong with me? Yeah, there'll be room there for that one. So there's a couple ways that you can line up the other green, and I'll show you, and I'm sure you'll be able to see it. I'll do one more somewhere else. Let's throw one up here. Okay. I know my Misty door is off, so you can't, not off, it's working fine. I mean, it's off the screen. Okay, so there's a couple ways you can do this. You know, you can have this go right to the very edge of that point. Let's flip it around this way. I don't know which way Alicia drew this. I think she drew it this way. So you can have it go like right up to the edge, or you can just have it more in the center. And I think I'm going to do that just to be safe. Have it more in the center. Not total center, but have like a little bit of a border around it, a little green border, jelly bean border. We'll see how it looks. Let's see. Oh yeah, if you just watch the way I line it up in the beginning, it's super easy. So there we go. And that just gives it a two-tone look. Again, I'm not lamenting too much over where I place it. I think lamenting is a word. I heard it somewhere. Speaking of words, Tom. Oh, I totally missed that one. Speaking of words, Tom, do you have a word of the day?
You better concentrate on what you're doing.
I know. It seems like it's right, though, when I look through the stamp. It might have been easier to do these the other way. I feel like the base is a little different on the stamp, like it's a little heavier on one side than the other, and the way the light. All right. Now I'm going to do this super fast. I'm going to get an acrylic block and just do it the fast, old-fashioned way. We're just going to stamp 4 of them the old-fashioned way.
Okay, word of the day.
Yeah.
So, if you're in the grocery store or the supermarket, whatever you call it, and you're waiting in line, and there's a line in front of you, a line of people are in front of you, you're at the end of the line, and it's being held up by the first person who has a whole bunch of discount coupons. You would have a mild case of coupon-stipation. Coupon-stipation, the word of the day. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness. I love it. Coupon-stipation. I've been there. I've had the coupons too. I've been that person too. All right, I'm just stamping these freehand, and it's going to be a lot easier for me, I think. Sometimes we overthink our abilities, and we line up things that we could just see. And you guys have seen me do that before, you know, where I'll stamp a greeting and we're all panicked that it's not going to stamp. But remember before we had a stamp positioning tool and we just stamped? We survived. We survived that. So there we go. Tom, they like that. I can't imagine what was going on in your mind when you came up with that. All right, so there's my flowers and there's my leaves. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to find one more little piece of cardstock here. Oh, do I really have to cut? I don't think I do. I think I'm going to use these. These are just little pieces of cardstock. So I'm going to get my warm cocoa ink cube, and I am going to just run this down this little sheet here, and then I'm going to go in the opposite direction just to create some texture. Okay, so now we've got a little texture there. Now we could have stamped the centers, but I want them to have some texture. So we'll clean this up. And we're going to do some die cutting now. So let me get this out of the way, but I don't want to lose this in case I need it. That happens. You put something away. How many of you put stuff away in your craft room? You put it away and it's gone forever. Well, you guys know. All right, so we're going to cut these out with the die cutting machine. Really? You think you could do it, or are you laughing because you think that you you remember the days of being on the struggle bus trying to stamp? We did it. We weren't that bad. We weren't horrible. We were better than horrible. All right, so I'm going to cut these out using these dies. I think that they're pretty consistent, but I think there might be a right way. And of course, we can use the trick if we want. We could use that little template idea, but I'm going to try it. Oh, Lord. I'm praying now. I'm watching all your comments come in. Okay, that looks pretty good. That's pretty centered. I like it. Okay, yeah, you put things away and you can't find them? Same, girl. I am the same way. Cleaning up is not necessarily a good thing. I tend to find things more when they're just everywhere than when I try to clean up. I know some people are very organized, though. They have beautifully organized craft rooms. I have a beautifully organized right here, this area right here. Everything else around me is in shambles. But it looks good on the screen, so that's what matters. The comments stopped on your end? So are you watching on a tablet? Because you may have swiped over, and you can swipe back, and the comments should come back. There's the second one, and we're going to cut one more. I know, right? You put things away, and then you have no idea where they went. Looked a little easier. That was a little too easy, that one. Okay. Your things are so safe, no one can find them, including you. Yes, I hear that. Okay. So now we've got these. And now let's cut these. I don't need them all. I think I'm just going to cut 4. I'll pick the 4 best ones. And then I'll ruin 2. And then I'll have 2 more to cut. All right. Yeah, this bundle is in our deal of the week for $15. So it's a good one. We're making room, cleaning out the warehouse a little bit. And it makes sense to pass the deals on to you guys. This is a great one for a gift, too. If you have any stampers in your life that you like to give a holiday gift to, I mean, this bundle, the stamp set alone was $19.95. So you get the die set, too. Stocking stuffer for the stamper in your life. People categorize everything in their stamp room. I know they do. I've seen some of that. Yeah, that's not me. If you want to be friends with somebody who's disorganized, I'm your girl. You know what? I think I am going to I'm going to cut these all out because like I'm on a roll here. And it's only going to take another second. And then if I want to use them, because I don't know how I want to do this yet, but I have a feeling I know. Oh my goodness. Oh no, Judy Jeffries, you're leaving? That's okay. We know people have lives. People are popping in on their lunch break. That's okay. We get it. We'll miss you. We will still be here on the replay. All right, so that's my last leaf. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to, where do I go to order this? You can go to the GinaKDesigns.com and click on the shop tab. And then there's a category on the side called Deal of the Week. And you can just go in there and there's a bunch of bundles that are on sale, and this one's on sale. Okay, so I'm just going to cut these little circle dies. Now, normally the circle die would cut out this center, but we're just going to cut them out so that they're all sketchy looking like that. We only need 3. So you can see how kind of fun that looks in the center of that. And this was done with warm cocoa if you're just tuning in. I just kind of did wood graining in 2 directions just to create a little texture in the center. Excellent. I love the Stampin' Die set too. It's one of my favorites. I've been using it a lot lately. I can cut one more here. I did do 2 of them, but I'll keep that for another time. Because we have to keep every bit and piece of what we make, right? You never know. If there's a stamping apocalypse, we'll have all those little bits and pieces and we can keep going. All right, so I'm done with that. I think I could get 2 more out of here, so I'll keep it. Crazy girl. All righty, now let's see what we can do. Okay, first of all, I think we should cut a piece of white cardstock out of, with the master layouts. So I am going to have a half sheet here, and I'm going to use master layouts too, because I think I like the little stitching. I think it's very quaint, especially when it's more of a simple card. I know so far this card doesn't seem very simple, but to the eye it will seem simple. How's that? So I'm going to use the stitched die for master layouts too, and I'm going to run that through the machine. It is a perfect poinsettia, and it just has a holiday feel to it because of the pointiness of those leaves. It almost looks like a star. So you can use it for a lot of things, but also, you could certainly use it in spring and summer cards too. Okay, so now I've got that cut out there. And then I'm going to use, oh my goodness, do I use brown or do I use black? I think I'm going to use black this time. I think I scared people last week or Tuesday, doing brown. So I'm going to use black to just make it pop a little bit. Although the brown would be very pretty, I know. Couponstipation. It's Tom's word of the day. Tom, you must have gotten stuck behind somebody slow at Sendix this week.
That could also mean all those coupons that build up that you're saving.
Oh yeah, I have those all expired in my purse. It's so annoying when you forget. I have forgotten my coupons so many times when I get to the store and then finally remember to bring them and they're all expired. Okay, so I'm going to do a tent fold. So I'm going to get my big paper cutter out here and I'm going to get a piece of, oh, I don't know what color I want to do yet. What color do you think I should do for the back of this card? Let's make the card first and we'll figure that out later. Okay, so let me change the color a little bit here on the screen, make it easier to see. All right. So now I want to cut a couple of these. So what I want to do is I want to trim off. I want them to be half. So just find a halfway point in your card, in your flower rather. So here is a halfway point right across. I'm going to just cut around these petals right here. Okay, so I'm just going to go like this. And I'm going to go right down this side here. Like that. Okay, so now I've made a little cone, which will look very cute when I pop my top on it, right? Won't that look cute? I like that. Now, I want to see something. I want to ask you guys your opinion, because this is a very light flower, and on white cardstock, it is very, it's very pale, right? So what we're going to try is, I'm going to try craft cardstock. So let me cut a half sheet of craft, a quarter sheet, because I get the feeling that this would look very cute up against this. Do you feel like that stands out more? Tell me what you think. I feel like that would be really, really cute. I'm going to do it. So let's see. I'm going to try it. You know, you got to try things sometimes. I also think it would be really cute for the fall. But I may, why did I pick up this die cutting machine? It's all dusty. All right, well, we'll use it. It's here. I just reached down and didn't look, and this one came up. Oh my gosh, people are going to be watching this video and not knowing what the heck is going on. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, let's cut this one out with the master layouts. 2 same stitched. I think this is going to be very cute. Let's give it a try. I think you're going to see it better. And I think I'm going to have to make those centers just a little darker. You think I need a brown layer instead of a black layer? All right, I'll go with you on that. I've got some brown here. I've got a piece of charcoal brown that I found. Actually, this I ran through my die cutting machine. It's all smashed. We'll go with dark chocolate. And then maybe we'll do those centers in dark chocolate and we'll make it all coordinate. All right. Oh, goodness. Okay. Yeah, this is the squeaky machine. Okay. So this, and then I'll use the white card base. That's what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go with the white card base. And the reason I'm going to go with the white card base instead of like an ivory is because ivory's going to clash because there is white still showing through on these flowers. So we've got to keep with the white theme in there somewhere. Otherwise, it'll look, it's going to clash, ivory and white. So now I'm going to do a white card base using my jumbo cutter. I'm going to cut this at 4 1/4 inches the long way. There we go. And now I've got that piece of cardstock there. Okay. Now I'm not putting that other piece of craft back because you won't be able to see anything. So I'm going to score this at the 5 1/2 inch mark. We just have to find the right greeting panel. I think we should use maybe a little flag die from one of the master layout sets. Okay, so let's cut another one. We've got one of these here. And I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Was that the one I cut? Yeah. I'm going to clean that up a little bit. Just curve that, fix that curve. Cut one for there. I'm going to cut another one. Oh my goodness. I'm going to do the same thing. I know it's so scary to cut once you did all this stamping. But it's not. It's just paper. Okay. And then this I can just trim off a little. You could actually make a second one from this side if you're careful where you cut, you know what I mean? Like, so you could have twice as many flowers. Definitely. I think this is going to be just a cute little whimsical card. Okay. So I only used 2 of the flowers, but I got 3 of them out of it. Alrighty, now I'm going back to these dots and I'm going to darken them up a little bit. I think I lost one, but it's got to be here somewhere. Here's one. That doesn't look the same though. Where'd it go? Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I think it might be under here. Well, it doesn't matter since I'm going to make them darker anyway. So let me grab this little piece of cardstock here. They're going to look funny if they're not all the same. You don't see it anywhere, do you, Tom? From over there? I found it. It fell on the floor. Okay, so I'm going to use dark chocolate. Let me find that. This is dark chocolate. And I'm going to do my little trick that I did the other day on my video. I'm just going to take a piece of paper towel here and I'm going to wrap it around my finger. This way when I hold it, I'm not going to get it all over my fingernail. No, that's not going to work. I'm going to use something. Oh, I know what I can use. Use my jewel picker to hold it down. There we go. So I'm just going to add some darker color in there. I can leave it a little bit. Go around the edge too. I definitely want it to be perfectly round. But I kind of like leaving it a little hollow in the center. You know what? I'm just going to get inky. I'm going for it. That's what I'm going to make it look like, so that it's kind of a little rough in the center. And I'll go around the edge. I just feel like if we're going to have that craft card base, that these centers really have to stand out, and I think the warm cocoa was just too light of a color. One more. I like a good messy ink. All right, so there are my centers. Now we need some stems. So we're going to cut some stems. We don't have stems. This stamp set does not have stems because it's meant to use the flowers in a different way. So we're going to take a piece of white cardstock and we're going to take some jelly bean green and we are going to create some streaky green. And then we're going to create some darker in here, just a little bit, just so that it kind of coordinates color-wise with the leaves. Okay, now we're going to cut them down into tiny little strips. So we're going to go 1/8 of an inch. And the way we do that is I just find a 1/4 inch mark on my paper cutter and I move it down to the next 1/8. Let's see how that looks. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do another one. I'm going to do another one. Do another one. Because they're kind of hard to get them all exactly the same. So we'll just pick a few that we like. So here's our stems. A couple stems. We're building our own ephemera here. All right. So now let's get this on here so that it stands apart. Actually, I think you'll be able to see it better this way. It's dark. I just want you guys to be able to see it. You know, sometimes it can be too bright if it's on white. And I just want to get a contrasting color up here. Okay, that's good. We can see it this way. All right, I'm going to get a little paper. What happened with that, Tom? You see that?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. All right, and then we're going to put this onto that card base that I threw somewhere. Here we go. Ah, yes. That's true. Stems aren't always the same size in nature. You're right. You're right, Melinda. I shouldn't worry so much. Okay. And then we can trim these. Let's see. So I kind of want to see what they're going to look like, how cute they're going to be. I'm going to have a big one in the center, like here. And then I'm going to have one over here coming up. These are hard to handle because they're so skinny. And then I'm going to do one over here. Like that. And then I'm going to pop these centers on them. Oh, aren't they cute? They're so cute. I'm doing a little whimsical autumn card. It feels very like, I know it's not like this, but it kind of feels like every once in a while I'll go to like a craft place where they sell handmade crafty items and people do a lot of mosaic work. And it kind of has that mosaic feel to it. You know what I mean? Just kind of pieced together. All right. So let's just trim these down somewhere. We'll pop this one here. So I'll just cut that straight like that. And we'll glue that on there. And we can take it from the stitches so you still see the stitches. Let's do that. I'll do this off to the side here. We could use glue, but I'm going to use some tape for now. I'll do that one in the middle. We're going to take it from the stitches because I don't want to lose that stitching at the bottom. And we can move these flowers down, you know what I mean? So the flower doesn't have to be up here. It could be all the way down here if we want. As long as we don't see the green sticking out, we'll be fine. I'll cut this just a little on an angle here. I'll do the same with the other one. We'll make this much smaller. Not much smaller. A little smaller. So we're going to have it that way. So we'll just cut a little angle there so we can still have it straight up against the stitches, you know. Okay. Now, I know this seems putsy and people might say, oh, I don't want to do all that work. But honestly, to me, this is kind of the way paper crafting used to be. Used to take your time and used to make elements out of things that you had. And you thought very much outside of the box. We're going to add the leaves on here too, which are going to be very cute. So we can tape these flowers on, or these centers on. So I'm going to just put a little tape right there and then pop the center on because I'm going to pop the flower up. We'll have it popped up so it's got some dimension. I think I just, you know, I am old school. I've been stamping for 20 million years. I know there's a 20 in there. 25 years, maybe more than that. Started in the 90s. Oh my goodness. I don't want to think about the 90s being that long ago. It's 30 years. But we didn't have the tools and the fancy stuff that we had today. So you kind of had to think outside of the box a little bit. And it was fun. It was fun to think outside of the box, what you could come up with. So I'm going to overlap them a bit. And then we'll add a couple of these cute little leaves on there. Do one there. It's okay if the flowers overlap the leaves. That's cute, huh? We could actually do 2 leaves on this side. We can overlap them a bit and do the same thing over here. We could put one over here like that. Okay, so let's do that. That'll be our layout, and then we'll do a little greeting down here on a flag. Yes, you could definitely pre-cut this project and use it later. Maybe we don't need this leaf. I'm gonna move this one out of the way so that we can go higher up with this flower. And then we can bring these up a bit and these up a bit. Although it probably should have a leaf, but you know, maybe that one, somebody plucked all its leaves off. I don't know. Okay, let's add our little greeting. So I want to do, I know it's fun, isn't it? Oh, you know what we could do? We could just make it really easy and use one of our mixed messages. So let's do that. This is the mixed messages sentiment strips. And we could make this a cute little birthday card and use birthday wishes and have that come out from the side there. That would be cute. Let's do that. Because we did a lot of stamping on this card. And stamping is fun. I love it. But, you know, let's make the greeting easy. Okay, so I'm going to use some of this foam tape to pop up these flowers. There's my yellow mark. Glad that didn't show through. Sometimes I get into listening to Tom play and I forget that I'm live and I should be talking. Do you guys listen to the music too and think it's relaxing? I'm sending that one outside the edge there a little bit. Yes, this one, to answer that question, this bundle is on sale for only $15. So you can get this set. You can make some of these too. Slip that under. Here we go. We'll make it go outside. Okay. I want it to be not the same exactly as the other one. I want to pull it down just a little bit more. I want it to be lower. There we go. Okay. All right. And now we're going to put these leaves. We'll just tape these directly on. If I can find my tape. Anybody see it anywhere? All right. I know it's here. Right in front of my face. So we'll get this up here like this. And get this down here. Need a little room there for our greeting. And we'll do these two on the side together. Now you can always mix in ephemera. You can mix up in other die cut pieces that you've done. But sometimes it's just fun to get back to the basics and see what you can come up with. Yes, I started stamping in the 1900s. That's perfect. Way back in the 1900s. Oh, my word. All right. So let's get that little greeting on there. And you don't have to have the sentiment strips dies to use the sentiment strips. You can just trim them just like they were a little strip. So that's what I'll do with this. Okay. So I think what I'll do is I will bring it in from the side, and then I'll do a little flag on the edge. So I'm going to trim it down just a little bit more because it's a little far over. So we'll pop that on right there, and then we'll cut a little flag on the end. So the way to do that, we'll cut it down a bit more. And we'll just take our scissors. You know, I really like using my Tim Holtz paper snips for this one, this part. You just go from the corner to where you see the middle of the letter. And then same thing on the other side. Corner to the middle of the letter. And it gives you a cute little flag. We'll just put that on there like that. All right. I think I'll tape it right on. If you've got any white, you can always take a black ink pad or a black marker, which I should have a black marker. This is black, water-based marker, and you can just color over that if you don't like the white showing there.
And those sentiment strips can be foiled, right?
Yes. Yes, the sentiment strips can be. Right there. We can even do it on the other side of the stitching so we don't lose the integrity of the stitches. Sometimes your paper cutter will, leave a little mark. So you can just color along the edge and it'll look more like black cardstock. I know you might not be able to see that, but that does make a difference to color all around the edge. All right. So I could either pop that up or I could go direct to paper, which is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go directly onto my paper here. I'm going to go right to the right of the stitching, just so I still see the stitching. And I'll tape that down. Here we go. So there's the finished card. Isn't that fun? We do have one leaf left. I could throw it in there somewhere. And then we're going to give this one away, Tom.
All righty.
I just have to play and see where it would go. Should we stick it in there like that? Yeah, let's do that. Why not? Let's make use of it. Come out. Alrighty. So if you're new to Gina K Designs, we always give these cards away in the way that you, let me just push all my stuff out of the way here. Oh my gosh. The way you win is just by leaving a comment sometime during the live. There we go. That looks better. Okay. I like this card. I think it was really fun, and it's just another fun way to use the Starflower stamps. So, and you could also, if you want to take it up a notch, you could take a colored pencil and you could add a few little streaky lines in there. But I like the graphic nature of it just the way it is. Okay, Tom, I will stop talking now and you can give this card away.
All right. We're going to give this card away, this wonderful summer quiet, it's a very quiet card. Is it an autumn card?
I think so, because these are autumn flowers. I'm starting to see them come out now, and it's, the weather's just changing ever so slightly up here.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
So we got a cheesy drum roll. Fanfare. And the card goes to Jessica Goodwin. Jessica Goodwin.
Yay, Jessica. Congratulations. All you have to do is send your name to info@Gina K Designs and your address, and we will get this right out to you. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you'll give this technique a try. Just go ahead and cut up those pieces and see what you come up with. And if you do, share them in our Facebook group over at Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. We always love to see what you make using our products. All right, everyone. Well, Tom and I will be back next Tuesday night for another Stamp and Chat Live, and I'll be back this weekend with another 5-minute card video. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.